WECT News begins now with breaking news.
A terrifying situation for passengers and workers at Wilmington International Airport. A man drove a car through the front entrance of the terminal. That man is now in custody. Thank you for joining us as we follow this breaking news. I'm Frances Weller.
And I'm John Evans. The TSA just confirmed with WECT that crash injured one of the TSA workers at ILM. WECT's Daniela Hankey live at the airport at this hour. So Daniela, do we know yet whether they filed any charges against this driver?
John and Fran, tonight we know he is facing federal and state charges. That's after deputies detained the driver. He is facing federal and state charges once again. Here's exactly what happened. A man drove through the fence line at the airport and onto the tarmac. The man then left the tarmac and drove his small car inside the entrance to the airport terminal before being taken into custody. We also learned that a TSA officer sustained minor injuries and was transported.
TSA, not far behind, started screaming, "Run, run, run." Everybody dropped their bags and started running to.
Now, the airport right now is open and passengers have been coming in, but departure flights have been delayed for tonight and even canceled. But of course, if you are flying out tomorrow, make sure to check your flights before heading out to the airport.
All right, thanks so much for that update, Daniela. And of course, Wilmington International Airport released a statement saying, and I'm quoting here, an automobile breached the airport. No one from the public was injured. New Hanover County Sheriff's Office responded swiftly, detained the individual, and is coordinating with partner agencies. The airport is open and had minimal impact to operations. ILM expects to be fully operational by the morning, end quote.
And as Daniela said, officials kept departing flights from taking off even though the arrivals did come in. Taking a live look now at the arrivals and departures for tomorrow morning. All of the departures at this hour are on time. But as Daniela said, it's always good advice to check your flight status before you leave for the airport. Another breaking news story tonight. A New Hanover County Sheriff's deputy is recovering after being involved in a car crash.
Investigators say a driver pulled out in front of the deputy at the intersection of 3rd and Castle Streets. We're told the deputy did go to the hospital to be checked out, but the injuries, we're told, are not believed to be serious. The Wilmington Police Department investigating this crash.
WECT News begins now with breaking news.
The wildfire burning in Brunswick County has more than tripled in size. The North Carolina Forest Service just updating tonight that the Pulp Road fire in the Green Swamp Preserve now estimated to be 11,500 acres. They say people who live near this fire may start to see significant glowing heading into tomorrow. Good evening and thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Daniela Hankey. Now these are pictures that you have sent to us through See It, Snap It, Send It of that wildfire. You can see the sky is orange, covered in thick smoke. We've seen pictures from as far as Carolina Beach. This fire started as a controlled burn in the Green Swamp Preserve in Brunswick County. Wind has pushed the smoke east and north into parts of New Hanover County and Pender counties. And that's why the air quality in Brunswick and New Hanover counties are expected to continue to be unhealthy through tomorrow. This is the latest forecast map from the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality. You can see on your screen right now, Brunswick County is code red, meaning the air quality is unhealthy for everyone. In New Hanover County, it's code orange, meaning the air is dangerous for people with health and breathing issues. Now, Pender County isn't expected to be as bad tomorrow. Let's go ahead and take a live look at how things are looking outside right now. A live look from a smoky downtown Wilmington. This is through our First Alert Skycam. And we want to get right over to the latest on the impacts that this smoke is having on our area. First Alert meteorologist Eric Davis joining us now. And Eric, you're tracking things like visibility and respiratory issues.
Yeah, and I think one of the keys to tomorrow is going to be that change in the wind direction. For the last couple of days, we've had kind of a west and southwest wind pushing the smoke, particularly in northern New Hanover County and Pender County. But tomorrow that does begin to change behind a front. We're going to see more of a northwest wind, which will actually push the smoke more in a southeast direction. So while areas like Burgaw, Pender County will see improving air quality, the air quality may very well get worse in places like Monkey Junction, down towards Carolina Beach, Curie Beach, Bald Head Island, and over in Brunswick County, especially Oak Island, Southport area, maybe even Boiling Spring Lakes. Those areas may see worse air quality. You might have worse problems because of that change in the wind direction, and obviously that's where we may have the biggest problems for tomorrow. West Shore Home First Alert Sky Camera Network, 79 degrees in Wilmington with a west-southwest wind at 10 miles per hour. And tomorrow, outside of the air quality issues, it will be a nice day. Highs close to 90 degrees with that northwest wind. The rest of your First Alert forecast coming up.
And we know you have a lot of questions about this wildfire, and we've been working to get those answers for you. Right now, there are 25 resources working the fire, including multiple tractor plow strike teams and aerial support for firefighters on the ground. WECT's Zach Solon was in Brunswick County and has details on how this fire could have started.
Smoke from the Pulp Road fire has blown through southeastern North Carolina communities for 2 days. The dark gray smoke pouring out of the Green Swamp game landing is carried through Brunswick, New Hanover, and Pender counties, leaving many to wonder how this fire started. A spokesperson for the North Carolina Forest Service says the wildfire is believed to have started as a controlled burn conducted by the Wildlife Resources Commission. I'm told that the burn got out of control around 10:30 Thursday morning and has yet to be contained. Officials say you can expect to see more impacts from the smoke through the weekend. The Forest Service says no one has been hurt and there have been no buildings put in danger because of this fire. I spoke with Patrice Prim, who lives near where some of the heaviest smoke conditions have been. She's concerned about how much smoke and ash has blown near her house this week.
I'm hoping for some rain just to get rid of this, because it's if you come by my house, it looks like it's snowing with all the little ash and the soot from the fire. So that's another concern. Could that start a fire in all of these woods right here? Yeah. And that's my biggest concern at this point.
The Division of Air Quality has issued a red alert for Brunswick County through Saturday night. That means everyone, regardless of where you live in the county, you're advised to limit your time outside. Reporting in Brunswick County, Zach Solon, WECT News.
And officials do want us to remind you to not put a drone up. That makes things harder for firefighters. We will continue to follow this developing wildfire and work to get you answers. But here's what you can do right now to keep yourself and your family safe during this air quality alert. Everyone in Brunswick County should reduce long or intense activities outdoors and also take more breaks. People in sensitive groups should consider moving plans indoors. That means people with heart or lung disease, older adults, children and teens, minorities, and people who work outside. In New Hanover County, people in this group should reduce their activities outdoors and also take more frequent breaks. Today we talked to a doctor at Wilmington Health about the kind of impact this smoke can have on your lungs.
So the smoke is definitely it'll come in our lungs, can cause inflammation, can cause constriction, make it hard to breathe, of course, and this can definitely be for anyone.
Now, this is especially hard for people who have respiratory illnesses such as asthma and COPD. What should they do to protect themselves? It's thick out there.
Yeah. So actually what I would do is I would make sure your inhalers are up to date. I would make sure you haven't lost it, or if you think it's in your purse but maybe it's not. If you don't have it, call, get that stuff refilled. We'd rather you have it, when you need it. Make sure in a time like this where it could definitely be more likely to happen.
And is it good for them to try to stay inside if possible?
Yeah, right now I think, hopefully all the smoke is going to pass. I think right now, go to the mall indoors, go to the movies indoors, go have a family night indoors. There's lots of fun to be had indoors.
And you can watch this full interview right now on the WECT News app and also receive breaking news alerts as we work to get you updates on this wildfire.
WECT News begins now with breaking news.
And we're following two breaking news stories as we come on the air at this hour. A New Hanover County Sheriff's deputy in the hospital after being involved in a multi-car crash.
And disbarred South Carolina attorney Alec Murdaugh has been found guilty of killing his wife and son. We'll get to that verdict in just a moment. WECT's Daniela Hankey joining us now, though, with details on this crash. Daniela, what do we know at this hour?
Fran, investigators say the crash happened around 6:15 this evening at the intersection of North College Road and MLK Parkway. You can see by the video the deputy's cruiser suffered extensive damage, and it wasn't the only one. Several other cars were also badly damaged. Police have confirmed 4 vehicles in total were involved in this crash. No word from the sheriff's office on the deputy's condition tonight, but a spokesman tells us the deputy is expected to survive. And Fran, of course, will continue to closely follow this developing story and bring any new details on air and also on the WECT News app.
All right, thanks, Daniela.
The State versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh, defendant. Indictment for murder. Guilty. Verdict.
More breaking news tonight. A jury wastes no time finding a former South Carolina attorney guilty of killing his wife and son.
After hearing evidence for a month and testimony against Alec Murdaugh, it took the jury less than 3 hours to reach its verdict. Jurors handed down a total of 4 guilty verdicts. Jay Gray has the details on what happened inside that courthouse.
They spent 28 days viewing at times graphic evidence, listening to testimony and arguments from both legal teams. There was even a trip to the crime scene. And after 6 weeks at the center of this high-profile murder trial, jurors spent less than 3 hours behind closed doors before coming to a decision, finding Alex Murdaugh guilty in the murders of his wife Maggie and their son Paul. Prosecutors thanking the jury for, quote, seeing through the last con of Alex Murdaugh.
Our criminal justice system worked tonight. It gave a voice to Maggie and Paul Murdaugh, who were brutally mowed down and murdered on the night of June 7th, 2021 by someone that they loved and someone that they trusted.
Murdaugh showed no emotion as the clerk read the verdict and remained stoic as he was escorted from the courtroom in handcuffs. His son Buster appeared to wipe away tears following the verdict. Sentencing is set for 9:30 Friday morning. Murdaugh facing between 30 years and life in prison. Prosecutors have asked for the maximum sentence. Jay Gray, NBC News, Walterboro, South Carolina.
And NBC News will be live from the courthouse in Colleton County tomorrow morning for the Today Show with details on what to expect in the sentencing phase of the trial. Legal analysts will also discuss their thoughts on how the jury reached its guilty decision so quickly.
Now, you were the first to know of the deputy's crash and Murdaugh's verdict. If you have the WECT News app, don't miss any updates if you don't. Scan the QR code on your screen now and get the breaking news alerts that matter to you.